This is the MSI GT75. It is a pretty impressive gaming laptop, and this is not a review. I asked MSI if I could do one, and well, here's what they said.
No.
I also asked MSI if I could run any benchmarks on this, and here's also what they said.
No.
And I asked if I could open it up and take a look inside, and well, you can guess what they said.
No.
So with that said, let's take a look at this rather awesome laptop.
Yes.
Now in terms of specs, this has an 8890HK, I believe, which is a 6-core 12-thread 4+ GHz Intel i9 technically CPU. It's very similar to it's a Coffee Lake chip, and it's fairly similar to something like an 8700K, although with the i9 badging and of course with the mobile form factor, so it's actually pretty impressive. Now as MSI made it clear, I'm not going to be running benchmarks in this video. We'll hopefully get a review in it, but this one is technically pre-production, hence the no reviews or no benchmarks, but it's a really impressive chip. Now this model specifically has a GTX 1080, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. You also have two 256 gig M.2 SSDs in RAID 0, which means a 512 gig boot drive, which is incredibly fast. You also have a 1 terabyte hard drive, and you do have a couple of screen options available. This one is a 120 Hz 1080p panel, but you can also get a 4K model if you fancy. There are a number of specs available for these laptops, so feel free to take a look at them, hopefully when they're available, I think on the 16th, in the link in the description down below, but either way, as I said, these are pretty impressive. One of the other things to mention is actually the keyboard and mouse, or the trackpad that come on this model. These ones use the Cherry mechanical switches. Now they're not full MX switches, but they are scissor mechanical switches, and they feel really good. Here's a quick sort of keyboard test and sound test while you're at it. These are actually really nice to type on, and while I didn't get too much time with the laptop, I was really pretty impressed with them, and a lot better feeling than I would have actually thought they were. They are definitely louder, so they're not going to be necessarily as much of a stealthy laptop, but this thing isn't thin, it's also not quiet either, so you know, this isn't going to be a stealth laptop anyway that you're going to take to the office and game on the side. This is definitely something more of a desktop replacement style laptop. I would also mention that they've increased the RGB factor by about 4,000 here, as even the mouse buttons have RGB on them. Now while this does look actually fairly cool depending on your preferences, I must mention that the actual trackpad here is actually really nice. The physical buttons on the bottom are fairly sort of mechanical feel, tactile feel as well. They track very well, and they have actually really nice actuation, so I'm really impressed with the overall sort of design and build of the laptop. The display that comes on this one, at least this specific model, is the 120 Hz 1080p variety, and it's actually really quite nice. The up and down viewing angles aren't great, although this is a laptop and it's on a hinge, so it doesn't matter too much, but actually I've mentioned that side to side is actually really pretty good, so if you and your partner or whoever are watching a film on this, for example, you're actually going to be pretty impressed with it on the side to side viewing angles, and of course being 120 Hz has some really nice gaming potential too. MSI have also redone their Dragon Center utility, which is the sort of included software. It actually looks pretty decent, seems to be a little bit easier to use. You can do stuff like freeing up RAM and disk space with one click, which is quite cool. You can also do things like monitor your CPU, GPU usage and temperatures, and with the HK i9 model you'll be able to overclock the CPU a little bit as well, which is obviously nice to see. So I can't really go into too much detail about this. That's kind of just the sort of first look of the laptop. It's going to be an interesting thing to take a look at and see if we can get a review sample for this once it's actually fully out and available, and if we can, I'll definitely be you know, checking that out. And if you want to see that, feel free to let me know in the comments down below so that I can pass that on to MSI and give them an extra reason to give me one sooner rather than later. And yeah, that's pretty much that. If you want to pick up one of these laptops, as I said, I think they're available on the 16th of April, so feel free to take a look at those. I will leave a link in the description down below, which should hopefully take you to your local Amazon store where you can hopefully see them available. Otherwise, as I said, these ones are actually coming out at the same time as the rest of the Coffee Lake chips, so the B360 and H370 models. motherboard lineups and stuff like that, as you saw from my earlier video today. But other than that, that is pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions about the laptop, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I will try and get back to you as soon as I can, although I can't say to know too much about this one, so ask me and I'll try and get an answer for you. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Is this a sort of laptop you're really desperate to get your hands on, or is this more of a kind of, you know, future dream, or is this just not your kettle of fish? Let me know in the comments down below as well. So thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and feel free to check out the other videos that are over here for you. If you want to take a look at the Amazon and Overclockers UK affiliate links, feel free to do that in the comments down below. It definitely helps and supports the channel and keep me making these videos on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday basis, except for Tuesdays when launches happen apparently. And also feel free to check out the Patreon link where you can support me directly. Otherwise, that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next video.